How is it possible for two animals that look so similar to be in charge of two totally different worlds? I mean, one is a gardener, carefully tending these vast underwater meadows, and the other, a guardian, standing watch over the bustling, vibrant cities of our oceans. Today, we're going to get into their incredible story.
And look, this isn't just some cute metaphor. We're asking a real biological question here. How on earth can two sea turtles that are so closely related, we're talking the green and the hawksbill, evolve to fill these completely different roles? One, a meticulous gardener of seagrass, and the other, a vigilant guardian of coral reefs. It's an absolutely fascinating story of specialization, and believe me, the consequences are enormous.
All right, so let's meet our two main characters, the engineers of these completely separate yet deeply connected underwater worlds. So first up, meet the green sea turtle, Chelonia mitis. This is the master of the world's huge, sprawling seagrass beds. And its counterpart, that's the Hawksbill Sea Turtle, Eretmochellis imbricata, the sentinel of those complex, beautiful coral reefs. So different names, different homes, and as we're about to find out, profoundly different jobs.
Now here's what makes this so incredible. These turtles aren't distant cousins. They're actually close relatives from the very same family, Cheloniidae. So how does that work? Well, by specializing in different foods and different habitats, they very cleverly avoid competing with each other. It's a classic textbook example of what biologists call niche specialization, and it's one of the key things that drives biodiversity in our oceans. So this brings us right to the heart of it, unpacking these two crucial and very different roles. Let's break down exactly what it means to be a gardener of the sea versus a guardian of the reef.
The whole secret to their different jobs? Well, it all boils down to what's on the menu. One is a dedicated herbivore, eating only plants, while the other is a super specialized carnivore. This single split in their diet is what shapes their entire massive impact on the ecosystems they call home.
This table really lays it all out, doesn't it? Just look at how that one single feature, their diet, drives everything else. The green turtle, being an herbivore, becomes a grazer. Its job is all about nutrient cycling and keeping the habitat healthy. Now, in sharp contrast, the hawksbill's very specific carnivorous diet, eating sponges, makes it a predator. Its job is to create physical space for coral to grow. Two simple dietary choices, two absolutely monumental ecological impacts.
Okay, let's focus first on our gardener. The green turtle is, for all intents and purposes, a lawnmower for the ocean floor. By constantly grazing on seagrass, it doesn't destroy the habitat at all. No, it actively cultivates it, keeping these underwater meadows healthy, productive, and just teeming with life. So how exactly does this mowing help? Well, by constantly trimming the grass, it stimulates the growth of fresh, nutrient-rich shoots. This prevents the older blades from rotting, blocking the sunlight, and smothering the seafloor. And what happens then? These healthy, mowed beds become critical nurseries for countless little fish and invertebrates, which in turn directly boost the productivity of commercial fisheries. It's a pretty direct line from a turtle's bite to the fish on our plates.
All right, now let's swim over to the coral reef to meet our guardian. The hawksbill's role is less about cultivation and more about protection. It's really the unsung hero in this constant, high-stakes battle for real estate on the reef.
And how does it do this? Well, it's a highly specialized spongivore, which just means its primary food is sea sponges. Now, sponges are really aggressive competitors. They can easily overgrow and just smother slow-growing corals. So by selectively eating them, the hawksbill keeps the sponge population in check, clearing up precious space. This gives coral larvae a fighting chance to settle down, colonize, and grow, which maintains the very structure and amazing biodiversity of the entire reef.
So we've seen the absolutely vital work these turtles do. But what happens if these little engineers just aren't there to do their jobs? Well, the consequences are severe. It triggers a kind of domino effect that can completely collapse the very ecosystems they so carefully manage.
First, let's just imagine a seagrass meadow without its gardener. The seagrass grows totally out of control. It becomes this thick, dense canopy that blocks all the sunlight from getting through. Then the shaded-out lower parts of the plant start to rot and decay, spreading disease, and in a shockingly short amount of time, the entire meadow, this vital nursery for thousands of species, just dies off completely.
Okay, now let's flip that coin. Picture the reef without its guardian. The sponges, they go unchecked. They aggressively outcompete and smother the corals, just taking over every single available surface. That vibrant, diverse city of coral collapses into this homogeneous, single-species blanket of sponges.
biodiversity plummets, and the fundamental structure of the reef ecosystem is changed, maybe forever.
So what's the big takeaway from this incredible comparison? Well, it's a really powerful lesson in specialization. And it's a pretty stark reminder that every single species has a unique and often totally indispensable role to play in its environment.
This entire story we've been telling is about a core concept in biology, the ecological niche. It's basically the specific role an organism plays in its ecosystem. It's its job, its address, and all its interactions with its neighbors. The green turtle and the hawksbill are just a perfect illustration of how two closely related species can evolve to fill different niches, which allows them to coexist and thrive without having to fight each other for the same resources.
And look, this isn't just some fascinating nature story. It has direct and really serious implications for us. The tireless work these turtles do supports healthy oceans, and healthy oceans provide the habitat for the fish that serve as a critical source of protein for billions of people around the world. The health of the gardener and the guardian is directly linked to the health of our own food supply.
So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If two members of the exact same turtle family can have such profoundly different and essential impacts on their worlds, how many other seemingly simple organisms are out there performing these complex, vital jobs that we haven't even begun to recognize? What other silent gardeners and guardians are out there, quietly holding entire ecosystems in balance?